Hey guys, it's your boy Mike. I just wanted to give a little disclaimer before the video starts and let you all know that everything I'm about to talk about is my opinion and mine alone given the public information that has been presented to me. If any of this information turns out to be untrue or otherwise, I will either clarify in the comments or delete the video while making a post about it later. Thank you. It's your boy Mike. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video. So a lot of things have been happening in the last 24 hours, but let's go ahead and cover all the information. So Poison made this tweet in response to another person who was saying, oh my gosh, the animation looks so cool in the Super Saiyan 4s. This tweet has since been deleted though, by the way. And then Poison went ahead and said, well, I made this one. I think you got it mixed up, bro. Because the other person was tagging another animator, right? They then got over 500,000 views. It was up for over 24 hours. It had a lot of people liking, quoting it, bookmarking it, all that stuff. And then after the tweet got deleted, Poison went ahead and said, they call me egocentric while the people you idolize are threatening me because I'm opposing inhumane conditions. I have friends who haven't been paid and I haven't signed anything. That's literally the only reason I'm refusing to follow the rules. We'll go ahead and look at some of the comments here, but let me just go ahead and give my opinions on this, right? So Poison is saying like they're not paying people and that they don't necessarily agree with a lot of the conditions that are doing this, and he's coming out as like an act of like awareness almost. But the thing is that like, does this look like bringing up awareness? Does this look like opposing the working conditions? Does this look like trying to get better conditions for you and your friends? Like, to me, this is just a bad move all around. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Dokkan is, and some of these other gacha games as well, are horrible when it comes to the working conditions. You have to do all of the animation, you have to do all of the music, you have to do all of those people who do those roles get no credit at all. There's nothing. You don't, all you get is just the pay, which for all we know might not be that good. And then on top of that, you can't say that you worked on it because you signed an NDA. You can't even like express your excitement when that stuff comes out because again, the NDA says that you're just not allowed to talk about any of these situations, right? But going about it in this way and being like, by the way, I made this, I think was just like an entirely wrong move, right? Like, I don't think this is like, this is opposing those inhumane conditions. This is literally just like, I don't know, man. It's just not, it's not a good look is what I would say. Bro, you didn't do anyone a favor. You're about to get blacklisted by a ton of producers and your sound engineer is never going to want to recommend you now. You just fucked up over a massive amount of people and put them in a way deeper pile of shit than your little ego trip and your sense of justice, which is absolute garbage. There were other ways to handle it and for a first I think production, or almost, it's way better to keep a low profile and think about your peers in the industry. You could play vigilante later. You're not even cool doing it. They're gonna regret so hard working with the Frenchman after that. While you're 100% right, thanks for having the balls to actually make things move. GG's for the performance. You're an example to follow. By showing your cut, you showed you're not capable of respecting an NDA, unable to delete it because of your greed for stats. There are two problems with the way that you went about it. First, you leaked your plans without indicating that it was because your friends hadn't been paid. So understand that people don't have the context, just take you for a show off who doesn't give a damn about the laws. All that to say, I agree with the intent behind your action, but the form is purely selfish without thinking about the consequences it could have for you and your others who are still going to work on Dokkan. Next, the Japanese industry has always been rough, and this is kind of the move this kind of move will do anything but help the people you think you're defending. There were surely more ways, honest ways to fight this kind of situation. And I just completely agree, and it's the reason why I like this tweet beforehand. When let's pretend that you were a Dokkan animator, because we know that there are some other Dokkan Twitter people who have been working on the animation, right? Let's pretend that you're one of those people and you just saw that this guy broke his NDA and that he's talking about like the harsh conditions and that and talking about like people not getting paid, but specifically that he's showing the animation and being like, I got that. That was me, by the way, right? You're probably going to be pissed off. You're going to be like, dude, you just ruined it for the rest of us. Because not only are you breaking your NDA, but on top of that, you're going to make Dokkan more hesitant to hire people like that from this point onwards. Because they're going to be worried that something like this is going to happen again. They're going to be like, I don't want to hire anyone other than what's trusted in the field, because I don't want another situation like Poison to happen where they're just going to break their NDA and show stuff that they're not going to show, or even show even more than what Poison showed, right? And we also have a second Dokkan animator that we could see here that says, I made animations for Dokkan Battle. Well, they're not in the final product, but they're here. And we can see that the Super Saiyan 4 Goku animation is actually pretty nice. Like, it has it where it's, you know, just some pretty, you know, like just, what is it called? Just the beginning parts of the animation process, right? Like, nothing has been done in terms of like coloring or anything like that. But it looks like, obviously it took a lot of time and effort. It looks very good for all things considered. And then we also see here, for those who are wondering, I was not paid for my work. I did not sign an NDA or a contract. I am posting so that my work, as well as that of everyone else in my situation, does not go unseen. And then we can see over here, oh, ew, did they promise to pay you? If so, that's really scummy of them not to do so. Or do you mean like because they rejected it, you weren't paid for it? So they promised to pay us, and seeing our cuts said there's things to correct. It would take too much work, so we won't pay. It was a first pass, so of course there's correction to do. Saying they won't pay after it, that is despicable behavior. Now, this is where I'm like completely on the opposite side of Poison's situation, right? I think that this was easily a better way to go about it. Not only because they obviously did not sign an NDA, so I think that showing like their work was completely fine. But on top of that, they didn't wait all of these hours to then show like this was the reason why they were posting it, right? Like, Poison took, again, I think it was over 24 hours in order. 9 a.m. does it show this? 12:58 p.m. I think it was like 21 hours ish. But Poison waited all that time to like show what the reason for them doing that was. Well, this one only took 2 hours, and they're like, yeah, the reason why I'm showing this is because I wasn't paid for my work. I didn't sign an NDA or a contract, and I don't want my work to go unseen. Like, this, I feel like was a much better, I forgot to like these tweets beforehand, was a much better situation that they were presented in, right? And this is where I'm like completely on the side of the animator, because Dokkan at the end of the day should be paying these people, right? Like, I get it. If there are a lot of things to correct, it feels like you are just kind of like wasting money and all of that. But Dokkan is making like millions of dollars every year, like an absurd amount of money. To first say like, we're going to pay you, and then afterwards be like, oh, actually there's too much stuff that's going on that needs corrections, so we're just not going to pay you. That's shitty behavior. That's where Dokkan's completely in the wrong. Because at the end of the day, animation is a process. You can't just look at the first draft and then just be like, oh yeah, no, this is like completely dog shit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just throw all of it away when you can easily have made it where the corrections that were needed to be done were communicated to the person and able to continue having them work and get that payment, right? And even if you're like, oh well, you know, this just isn't something that we think we're able to correct because it would just take too much time or too much work, don't say we won't pay them for the work that they did, because you can see that this isn't like some guy just trolling and being like, well, here you go, here's like a PNG of Goku sliding up and down and then like the thing going against the screen. This looks like something that would actually be in the game, and you are just saying you're not going to pay this guy at all. That's so bad. That's such a shitty thing, man. It's like, it's just sad. Because you can tell how much time and effort went into this, and you could probably imagine the excitement of this guy when he finally got contacted by the whatever the Dokkan department animation would be, and he submits his work and he's like, oh my god, I really hope that they like it, like I hope the corrections won't be like too much, like I'm ready to work. And then you just get told, yeah, no, they're like, it's too much, we're just not gonna pay you. Such a shitty thing, man. And then we have over here, they're right, unfortunately the organization is terrible, the pay is low, and they even pay late. However, have you considered, and I'm referring to the guy from Kakume, I don't know if I pronounced that right. I believe that this was like the work of Poisons. That's simply saying I did this, and yeah, it was that tweet. And openly showing your work under a comment and in Instagram stories could have changed things. Why didn't you say right away that it was a form of protest instead of only saying it after a day when the uproar had already started? That way, the only effect was to make upper management think that the company that you were a part of, the one that commissioned you, or the one commissioned by Bandai, was unreliable and therefore should be replaced with another one that doesn't leak. And that could cost the people inside their jobs. I'm not saying it happened, but it's a realistic possibility. Again, that is the thing I would be most scared for, is that when you're doing shit like this, if all of those people who got hired by the current company are now going to be under watch because of the fact that Poison did this, it's such a bad thing. It's like, I feel like both sides are in the wrong. Bandai should have paid the people, but at the same time, Poison shouldn't have done that. But let's keep reading. The protest is justified, but your attitude, instead of improving your colleagues' working conditions, is only causing damage. There's already an idea circulating around among the higher-ups that foreigners leak too much. You're just giving credibility to their assumptions, especially because, let's remember, stuff had already been leaked before the release of the units, always from that side of the planet. Yeah, like, it's always the French that have like consistently leaked, and just it's been like a couple of places, but like everywhere but Japan has basically had leakers, is what I would say. It's bad. On top of that, I think it's very strange that you didn't accept any terms and conditions, since everyone I know did. It was mentioned multiple times right up into the end that you had accepted some conditions. Later, you can say that for you, those conditions only applied if they also respected the agreements. But you're saying that you didn't sign anything, so why would you expect to be paid if you didn't accept anything? I see your holes in your reasoning, but maybe I'm the one not understanding. We could also read some of the comments here too. Oh yeah, speaking of which, let's read the comments from actually no, we'll do that afterwards. Absolutely agree. For me, I don't think it was a form of protest, but just him flexing and using conditions as an excuse. Either way, such conditions shouldn't be allowed, especially in a game like Dokkan that makes tons of money. From what I understand, you know a few things. My question is, could it be that the problem is between Dokkan and this person? Why is Dokkan being directly blamed regarding the payment? Kids, man, as I said, what worries me is that since 2015-ish, there's no room for error for learning. AI is going to replace between artists and other beginner positions too, So there's just no growth in-house, no tutoring, no mentorship. We may be in a bottleneck. Whatever the conditions may be, it's a protest nonetheless, and he's the only one with the balls to say what's going on. Yeah. Let's go ahead and read the comment for this one. I hope you get paid. Crazy to me that people are defending Dokkan in this situation. I love it. Thanks for your tweet. You're going to show that your work wasn't kept because it wasn't qualitative enough. On top of that, it will prevent other animators from working because the production will want fewer freelancers. No, they wanted to keep it. I just didn't want them to use it if they weren't going to pay me. Even a guy who knows nothing about animations knows you're lying. It's better to just say nothing than to just drop that. You're screwing over a ton of people with that. Keep on ruining other people's image, huh? That's just great. Like, at the end of the day, Dokkan didn't pay him. So Dokkan, like, in my opinion, does not own this. This is his. He made this. He wasn't paid for it. And then Dokkan was like, we're not going to pay you for it, when they promised to pay him. So this is like a completely fine protest. If this tweet was the one that hurts the animators and stuff that are currently, like, the Twitter artists that are currently animating all of the things, then I would be like, I don't know if I would necessarily, like, disagree that this would be like the worst thing to happen from that. What's the way to, I'm trying to phrase it. This is justified, is what I'm saying, to tweet about. This wasn't really. Oh yeah, and then was there anything else? Yeah, after all, maybe it's because they didn't use your animation, but still, it's not normal to commission an artist without paying them. This literally happens nowhere else. You can't just go midway through a commission and be like, oh, yep, I'm done paying. It's so fucking stupid. How it feels to spread misinformation. Bro, you think this guy just made this, like, within a couple days? I mean, shit, he could have. But I really doubt that. Now that we've seen two people who showed these exact, like it's the exact same boxes, right? And we saw that these are like I don't know how to, like, I'm not an animator. I'm not probably ever going to be one, but like someone will probably correct me in the comments, but like the animation boxes basically, and all of that, this was in the official one. And then this is what was in, like, this person's animation. This is not, like, misinformation, bro. Found your next source of income. And then I was also talking about it. I blurred out their name. I was also talking about it with a friend as well, but they didn't want to be named in the video. So, like, I went ahead and blurred them. It's dumb but it's definitely that they don't know who is controversial, who will be. This is talking about them not giving credit, and I suppose but people should be credited for their work, simple as that. I almost slipped up there. And then they were saying, I agree, I don't see why not. I then said, it's sad that this is the only place that it's not like that. And then they said, yeah, I feel bad for anyone working, they should be celebrated for it. And it's true. Easily, when these animations and OSTs and all of that come out, these people should just be able to straight up be like, I worked on this, like, I'm super proud of it, go check it out in Dokkan, yada yada yada, and just be like that. They can't even talk about their work. It's horrible. Like, Dokkan is going to get leaks regardless. I think we've, like, officially gotten to that point where we just accept it, right? But I can guarantee that at least some part of it is because these guys just can't talk about their work at all. They want to be excited with people. They want to share that with not only their fans, but their friends as well. But legally they can't because they signed that NDA. But the fact that they just can't, after the fact, be like, I worked on it, or have like a little credits section that you can go out of your way to view and be like, wow, this guy worked on it. Wow, this was done on this, and this was done on this. We literally see this in no other form of media ever, dude. Like, I know I'm sounding like I'm just fucking nagging, but it's true. It happens in shows, it happens in movies, it happens in games. It's the only fucking thing that you won't be credited for your work, and that's such a fucking bad thing, dude. And then Diana Hearts is also another like Dokkan / Gekishin content creator, and this is basically just my position, right? If Dokkan truly have not been paying their animators that help make an ungodly amount of money, then I'm never going to spend money on the game ever, and also stop making content on it as well. Disrespecting and mistreating artists is unacceptable, and this is true. Like, I think from the foreseeable future, I think I'm probably just gonna stop. Like, I've already been like Gekishin Squadra most like with most of my uploads, but like, I don't know, I'm really tempted to just not make content on Dokkan again, because it's such a shitty thing to do. And I think that Dokkan needs to investigate into whatever because they're Dokkan isn't going to be the person who's directly paying them, right? It's always going to be some sort of middleman. But unless Dokkan like investigates that middleman, and I get like an official confirmation that, hey, this is what is going to be changed, like we apologize, or at least some of these Twitter like artists are like, hey, you know, like we finally got a payment for our work even though we weren't officially used, then I just can't support Dokkan. That's just how it is. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What do you guys think about the situation? Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.